Welcome to the Life Multiplied podcast, where we sit down with local community members to hear their stories and learn what they love about the Bloomington-Normal community. Hey, welcome to the Life Multiplied podcast. Today I have a special guest. If you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Izzie Segal. I currently am a first-year or freshman student at Illinois Wesleyan University, and I am a double major student in both secondary education and English literature.
Wow, okay. You're doing yeah, for real. So, Izzie, are you from Bloomington-Normal, or where do you come from?
Yeah, so I'm originally from the northern suburbs of Chicago, so about 2.5 hours away. North. And yeah, so I come from a really big town. So It's definitely an adjustment coming to a smaller population.
Yeah. So let's move into then my first question, which is, what has life been like in Bloomington-Normal for you since moving here to go to school?
So that is such a great question. Life has been busy, First year of college, it's definitely an adjustment. I come from a high school of 5,000 people, and Illinois Wesleyan is notorious for being so small in population, about 1,000 kids. So there's definitely that community shift where you're going from this large community to a very, very close-knit community.
Sure.
And I think that's something incredible about Bloomington is that the town is built on community and community engagement, and I think they're doing a great job at that because I've never been so involved in my town.
Sure. So you said your high school had 5,000 students.
Yes.
So I don't know how many students are at Illinois Wesleyan?
About 1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Total.
Why did I not? I knew it was a small college, but I didn't know it was that small. So wow, you really went from a lot to not so much.
Yeah, but it makes up for it.
Right, right. But you're still enjoying it.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Okay, and then so besides just being on campus and living here, have you been off campus? And then what do you like about the community just in general?
Yeah, so I definitely travel off campus. I have my car here on campus. At first, you had the opportunity to travel via Connect Transit, our public bus system. Yeah. I decided that I wanted my car. I DoorDash around town.
Nice.
It's pretty great. It's a great way to make some money on the side.
Sure.
Other than that, I love being out and about. The Constitution Trail is somewhere where I frequent. I go on runs, go on jogs, walks. It is so nice. It's the perfect season for that. Yeah. And also, I am obsessed as of late with the Miller Park Zoo.
Okay,
Yeah, I realized that there was a zoo here. I was just driving around.
That's so funny.
And I am obsessed with birds. That's one of my things.
Okay.
And they have a cockatoo there.
Okay.
They have a Moluccan cockatoo named Henry. He's about 32, and he'll talk to me. I'll stop by after my classes.
So are you a regular there?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm a regular at the zoo.
That's awesome.
But something I love about this community is that they offer volunteer opportunities, internships. If I'm writing an education paper about something, I know that I could pop by and they'd be so helpful.
Yeah, so that brings us into the next question. And again, we're going off these bullet points, kind of like what you wanted to share on this podcast. But what would you say are academic programs that are available within the community?
So within the community, I think that Illinois Wesleyan is a big nursing school. So the Carl Foundation Hospital right down the street, internships all day, all night. Illinois Wesleyan is also such a big networking school, so anything under the sun, any kind of major, even for ISU students, we all kind of come together and collaborate. State Farm headquarters is down the road. Yeah. Business happens there, so it's super, super awesome to get involved with the community and professionals in the community where you can network yourself out, find those internships year-long round. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I know that I had heard, I know somebody who went to Wesleyan many years ago, but the percentage of students who get a full-time job after graduating, the percentage is pretty high.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact percentage, but
I think it's in the 90s.
Okay.
Upper 90s.
Yeah. So, I mean, what a great benefit to have and to attend that university.
Yeah, it's such a meaningful gateway to have because you get close with your professors, but also you get close with the community and they help you out, you know. Some people babysit their professors' kids when they're out on vacation. So it's just such a different ball game than it was growing up in my town.
Yeah, I was going to say that probably, you know, goes with, like, there's only 1,000 students, so, like, it gives you a chance to get close.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Totally.
So what would you say the community engagement is like with the students?
So, yeah, that's a great question. So, at Wesleyan, we offer about 150 plus different RSOs or registered student organizations in any kind of school. They're like clubs, you know. They get funded by the school so generously, and there's everything under the sun. And my best piece of advice is get as involved as humanly possible because the worst thing that happens is you just don't show up to the next meeting, you know?
Right.
It's so completely free to join, whether that be Greek life or just your interests or hobbies. Both ISU and Wesleyan open their doors to all students in the community. So if I'm interested in an ISU organization, I'm more than welcome to go.
Awesome. I did not know that. That's a fun fact. Did not know that. So you are part of the Greek life.
Yes.
So you, like, is your sorority super involved with different maybe nonprofits or different organizations in the community?
Yes, that is a great question. So I'm a part of Alpha Gamma Delta, and as Vice President of Administration on the exec board, I get to kind of like have a voice in coordinating community outreach and stuff like that. So our philanthropic focus, a tongue twister again, is fighting hunger. So there are different things all over the community, whether we're running our mac and cheese event, which is a big fundraising event to donate to fighting hunger causes within our community and internationally. There are always outlets like food banks that we could volunteer at. Stay Another Day is a big one that we are getting involved with just because mental health is such a prevalent issue amongst college, high school, everyone. It's just, so it's great. And also Yoga Lab, where we are right now. One of the members in my sorority, she just started that club to get Yoga Lab incorporated in the Illinois Wesleyan campus. So they actually come to us, and all students are welcome, free to join.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I know we talked about that a little bit before. So let's touch on, you had mentioned sports and recreation between Illinois Wesleyan and Illinois State.
Yes.
Can you kind of talk about that and what you mean with that?
Yes. So the biggest moment probably in first semester for both ISU and IWU students is the basketball game. It is at Illinois State, and it's Illinois Wesleyan versus Illinois State men's basketball and women's basketball. So everyone shows up, everyone wears their school colors, and it gets really competitive, and it's awesome because it's our community going head to head, but at the end of the day, it's just such a fun game to see everyone interacting. I know I have friends at ISU. Likewise, a lot of my peers have friends at ISU and vice versa. So it is so awesome to just, get involved as a big community and not just be rival schools down the street.
And so how many years have they been doing that? Do you know?
I think forever.
Honestly,
okay. Yeah.
Because I know I feel like this year was the first time I really saw it pushed on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that there was pretty good attendance.
Oh,
because,
full.
I mean, getting anybody that went to ISU or Illinois Wesleyan and then also the community to be like, let's go see the universities in town compete against each other.
Yeah.
So, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is so cool.
So, just this is not something that we had discussed beforehand, but if you could share like a message or a reason as to why you're coming from the Chicago suburbs. So what's so great about moving from a big city to coming into the community and going to school? Like, what would you share with maybe a student who's looking to go to school here, but they don't know because it's smaller? Like, what would you share about that?
So my biggest piece of advice is get as uncomfortable as possible. I do think that it's so important to kind of open your eyes to new experiences, new towns, new cities, new people that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Because I know so many people who just go to college to be with their high school friends, which is fine, which is great if they're comfortable with it, but it opens your eyes, especially as a future educator, to so many new prospects that you couldn't even dream of. So field placement, student teaching definitely opened my eyes to the world of education in a lot broader sense, because you're in that bubble for so long growing up, and there's always a car ride home. There's always a flight back home, wherever you end up. So I say go to a small town if you're from a big town.
Check it out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I came from a small town, and then I have a boyfriend, and he's from the suburbs of Chicago. So it's like, this is a happy medium, you know? And I do love this community, so. So where are your favorite, or what are your favorite local businesses?
Okay, so I don't know if it counts as a local business, but I know we touched on Miller Park Zoo.
Yes.
My absolute favorite place to go, because good for a little walk around.
Yeah.
Stay Another Day is another really big one for me. I think half of my wardrobe is full of those hoodies.
I don't know what that is.
So it's a local business. The owner and founder of it, she grew up here. I think she went to college in town and started a business about mental health. And it is so awesome. Every store I go to, every Target, Walmart I walk into, someone's repping the hoodie.
That's awesome.
All the professors in my college know about it. It's just so big, and I just love to see it grow. I'm a part of the ambassador program, which is another pro of just living in a town that has so many locally owned businesses, because I couldn't dream of it anywhere else. But I get to be an ambassador. I get to rep my merch around, talk about the passion I have toward mental health, and finding those resources for people who are struggling. And I just think it's so incredible what she's doing in town.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I did not know about that.
Yeah.
So is it a retail store?
Yeah.
Where is it located?
Oh, it is located, oh my gosh, on Veterans Parkway. It's it's a long road.
Along that strip somewhere.
Along the strip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'll be sure to link it in the show notes.
Yes,
so
go check it out, guys. Use code Izzie. 10% off.
I can link that as well.
Yes,
so, any other local businesses?
Oh, let me look. Okay, so Coffee Hound, Yoga Lab, definitely, and Blooms. I know Blooms is right around the corner from Illinois Wesleyan, so that was one of my first, outings.
Sure.
But also Theo's. I know they just did that Stuff a Stanley event,
They did.
I know it brought a large crowd.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love to see success in uptown, downtown. It's so awesome. What else? Bandanas is one of my favorite places to go.
I've never been there.
It is incredible. It's
good to know. Good to
best barbecue. If you're into barbecue, go to Bandanas.
Okay.
Don't walk, run. Not walk, don't run. But those are my businesses.
Awesome. I love to hear that, you're a freshman at IWU and you are off campus exploring the community. So I'd love to hear that.
Thanks.
So from your perspective, or maybe your friends' perspectives, what is their perspective of being a student here in Bloomington-Normal?
So from my perspective, I love it. I think I am a kind of person who loves to stay busy. I don't know if it's because I'm from such a big town where, everyone's buzzing around, but I love to stay busy. I love to stay on top of things. So this community makes it so accessible to do that, whether I go to the local libraries, to ISU libraries, or Normal or Bloomington libraries. Just studying, staying on track academically and socially is so easy. And from my friends' perspectives, being a part of a sorority, I know that we all love it. Sure. We love the idea that, you could walk places, you could drive places and be there in a couple minutes. And just being in such a small town, it is not hard to make friends at all. And you form those closer, more relevant connections to your profession, because you meet so many people in your major as well as out of your major. Right. I know that in a few years, if I ever need someone to do my taxes, I got those business majors, those finance majors there for me. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Love that. So you had put on here future outlook as a student here. So is that more of like, where do you see yourself in after you graduate, or as you are like a sophomore, junior, senior here?
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking more of like when I graduate, where I go, what I move on to do, but also just future outlook as a student in Bloomington, that I definitely will be coming back once I graduate. I don't think it's going to be a one and done for me. Awesome. I think my heart is definitely in this town as well. But I want to teach, and just the resources provided. I know that Bloomington Junior High does a lot with students at ISU and Illinois Wesleyan, just to provide them, face-to-face experience, hands-on, just like Carl does with the nursing students, that it is such a big teaching town, it's such a big education town. The doors are always open. Whatever you need, whatever you have to do, people are always there to have your back and support you through that.
Awesome. So would you say you want to be a teacher? So
yes.
Would you rather teach in somewhat of a larger school, or would you rather teach in somewhat of a smaller school? Because, I mean, the high schools and junior highs are pretty big here still. So.
Yeah, they're big. So my dream is to go back to my big town in the North Shore of Chicago and work at my high school, just because they have such great alumni connections, and I just have such a passion for their curriculum there and their education and their faculty there. So it's my dream to land on my feet back there.
Sure.
But yeah, I could definitely see myself student teaching over here, though. I'm never, my heart's never going to leave this town. I do love it a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we love to hear that, and I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we come to an end?
No, this is pretty awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in to next week's episode, where we talk with local community members to learn more about life multiplied here in Bloomington-Normal.